Hey there guys, this is Musical Pikmin, and we're back for part 8 of the Earthbound Let's Play. We left off in the middle of this dungeon, and I guess we'll just go and finish it off this episode. We'll probably have to do a little bit more training before we get to the Sanctuary boss, but I feel like it's coming up pretty soon. Alright, we're back to full HP for both of our party members. There are a lot of enemies. Two Mr. Baddies aren't that bad. Yeah, making your body solidify is basically all they can do to you. They'll try to attack themselves, and they're not very intimidating. Freeze Beta. We will be using that quite a lot in this next boss battle. And a back attack, that's good. We'll want to try to get the Mighty Bear out of the way first, because you don't want to have it give you too much damage. Especially since Paula is at a really low level. Since we're just fighting like these generic enemies that we've already seen, I feel like I should talk about my speeding ticket that I actually got quite recently. I was driving back from my summer classes. I think it was a week and a half ago, maybe. But yeah, I got a speeding ticket because I was going 60 and a 45 mile per hour zone, and there was a cop that just happened to pass right by me, and he followed me for about 5 minutes before he pulled me over, which kind of unnerving. It was my first ticket, but I guess he didn't really have any mercy at all, so he just gave me a ticket, so it's whatever. Just try to make sure that you go the speed limit that is marked, otherwise you'll probably get a ticket like I did. You are not above the law. I was just surprised that I got a ticket, to be honest, because I don't know. Usually they give you a warning if it's like your first time getting pulled over, but what can you do? And we made it to the Sanctuary boss fairly early. I think I'm gonna go back and try to find a magic butterfly and train up a little bit more, so I'll cut back here. And we're back. I trained up a little bit, and Ness, as you could see, got homesick, unfortunately, which could give us a little bit of trouble, but we'll work with it, see how it goes.
You finally got here. This is the second to your sanctuary location, but it's mine now. Take it from me if you dare.
And this is the Mondo mole. First thing I want to do right now is utilize our new Flash Alpha, because he's very susceptible to it. It'll stun him. Also, you want to use, I thought Freeze would like actually work, but I suppose not. I'm gonna try to do Thunder, maybe? It's probably a little more susceptible to that. Alright, and that worked. So, his physical attacks will miss more if he has the crying thing. His crying status. And it looks like... Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, we got another teddy bear from one of the mighty bears. It's pretty low chance of it dropping, but we got one. So that gives us another turn where we won't get any damage. Right now I'm just going to try to give Paula a little bit of help with some defense, because his attacks are very strong. Psychic Shield. He's a little bit tougher than the Titanic Ant. Oh, and as you saw there, Ness refused to do anything because he's homesick, which isn't very good for this kind of battle, but it's manageable. It only happens like a few times, but it's quite frequent. Yeah, I would consider using Paralysis Alpha as well if you have that, just so he can't do any damage, besides just using a Psychic Shield, I believe. Yeah, he won't be able to do anything because his only psychic move is creating a shield for himself. And there we go. Pretty easy boss battle. Just train up a little bit on Paula before you do anything, because you don't want to miss out on this kind of leveling up. PSI Magnet Alpha. That will give us more PSI power. Like you saw on one of the previous enemies, they used that, and it really drained us, so we now have the ability to use that. And here's our sanctuary. Not a very distinct melody, but it connects with the other ones, so not too random. Ness briefly had a vision of a baby in a red cap. Ness's soundstone recorded the melody of the little footsteps. And like always, I will play the soundstone, I think. Oh, I wanted to show off that it indeed gets rid of homesickness once you reach Sanctuary. So, like I said before, it does connect to the other melody, so it's not completely random. But yeah, all of the enemies in here will now run away from us because we have defeated the boss, so we will nearly always get a back attack now. I might as well just take out all of these enemies, because why not? We need the experience. Apollo's only at like 75 HP. I think I might just cut here, and then we'll just come back when we exit the dungeon, since we're finished and we've seen all of these enemies, so I will be right back. And we made it out of the dungeon. I wanted to keep this video short, and going through the dungeon would take a lot of time. What was the anti-blue place like? Was it scary? No, it wasn't scary, and I do thrive in places like that because I am Ness, the Chosen One. I guess all we need to do now is just go back to Tucson and talk with Paula's parents and everything, and then see just where we need to go next in our adventure. But for right now, we have to go back through Peaceful Rest Valley and fight through all of these enemies and stuff. Now that we have Paula, these enemies will be a lot easier. I believe that Thunder Alpha works best on them. I think Fire Alpha will also do pretty well against them. Since they're made of metal, Freeze, you would think would work really well, but it actually doesn't do very much damage, surprisingly, since they're like some of the few enemies that actually aren't very susceptible to freeze. But enemies like plants, they definitely are. And like desert, whenever we get to certain areas, they will be way more susceptible to freeze. And I really do not want to deal with that territorial oak, so I'm just going to get rid of these mobile sprouts with fire, and we'll try to run from this. And luckily we did get away. I would consider cutting out this part since we've already seen all of these enemies, but I just want to show how much easier it is with Paula, because she has like way better attacks than Ness does in this area, and it's much easier to just go through here. Plus show a few of the differences that happen after you save Paula. I'll try to stay away from that. Try to get rid of it. No, I guess I wasn't out of the frame. Far enough, at least. Okay, I'd rather fight the UFOs and spinning robots because they don't explode and give you a lot of damage. And you're probably wondering, even though we beat the Sanctuary boss in the last town that we went to, these enemies don't run away from us like they do in the Sanctuary dungeon. That's because I feel like the game still believes that we're at a low enough level where these enemies are pretty tough and they can do more damage than they actually can. But unless you're like really, really high leveled for that area, the enemies usually won't run away from you. So just keep that in mind as well whenever you're coming back. This bridge was taken out. I fixed the bridge as a sign of an apology. Okay. So he was part of the blue cult. But he fixed the bridge so we don't have to go all the way around like we did when we came through the first time. Yeah, these enemies, they won't run away from you. Luckily they aren't as nearly as annoying as they were when we first came, because first off we have way more PSI power, and second, we're generally faster than most of them. So, and more powerful with physical and psychic powers. So, really, they aren't really that bad. And I'll show off PSI Magnet. Once we get like a higher level, that we'll learn like a better version of PSI Magnet. The one that we have now, it only works on like one person, but a later a higher attack will let us get PSI from all of the enemies on the field. So that will definitely come in handy. But me personally, I use all of the attacks that we learn. I use shields and PSI Magnet because you never know when you'll need PSI or protection from attacks. And you can't always like count on the items that you have. You saved Paula. I didn't really understand it, but I knew that Paula's miraculous power. This text is going by way too fast. Call it a hand-aid. I'm not entirely sure what a hand-aid does. I was never able to use it in my previous run-through of this game, so hopefully we'll figure that out eventually. And Paula's dad, Ness, thank you so much. You must be the boy who saved the world, like, who will save the world. It's not every day a father lets his daughter embark on a journey. Yes, we'll be able to take care of ourselves. In Threed, we'll meet another friend. The three of us can combine our power and no one can beat us. Well, that's a little bit of a spoiler to what we're going to be doing in the next town. We'll meet another one of our party members, but it will be a little while, a couple episodes maybe. Everdred is looking for you. He's got something for you. And I guess in the next episode we will go and talk to Everdred and see what he wants, and see some new faces that will eventually come into play later on in the story. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next episode. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you want to watch more of this Let's Play. I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.